but again today, mostly sunny, warming up to 61 degrees.
Some people just have a knack for being there when you need them the most, like your third grade classmate who sticks up for you against that bullet, the neighbor who gives you the jump start, and the friend who chases away that flock of geese at your outdoor wedding. Your State Farm agent has your back, too, through good times and the not so good. And who's got your agent's back? State Farm, the company people have trusted for more than 90 years. We're here to help life go right. Call State Farm agent Barkley Hudson at 270-365-7521.
This Thursday is the first Thursday music series at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant in Mercantile. Enjoy fabulous food, great fellowship, and fantastic music featuring Sean Mestan and Carl Woodall from 6 to 8 p.m. Make plans to join them. For reservations, call 270-365-1234. There's nothing better than a great meal, great atmosphere, and great music. You'll find it all at Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant this Thursday for the first Thursday night music series. Adams Breezy Hill Farm Restaurant, 1222 Cadiz Road, Princeton, Kentucky.
Since 1978, Perry's Floors & More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors & More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors & More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
Don't use tires and wheels, where the customer is always number one. So when life's throwing you a number two, just remember, Dunk's Tires and Wheels, because we'll be here for you. We sell used custom wheels and tires and do plug and patch repair. We have all tread styles and sizes in stock, open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and on call for emergencies. Call 270-963-6391. Don't use tires and wheels, where the customer is always number one.
A dead battery does not have to ruin your day. At Riddle's 24-Hour Towing, we provide certified AAA battery service in the Princeton and Kentucky Lakes region. Whether you're at home, shopping, or out running errands, we can help. The technician has batteries on hand at the time of testing provided by AAA East Central. So if you need a jump start or a new battery with the best warranty at a great price, give us a call. The technician is trained and certified by AAA East Central. Call Riddle's 24-Hour Towing at 270-350-6368.
Ladies, all the latest trendy boutique styles are waiting for you at Magnolia 2 Boutique in Hopkinsville. We have an amazing selection of apparel that celebrates women of all ages, sizes, and styles. You'll love our jewelry, accessories, and handbags, including our new Bed Stew collection. And we have entire rooms dedicated to curvy size styles and shoes. Our selection and prices cannot be beat, and we can't wait to see you. You'll find us at 5120 Princeton Road, Hopkinsville, or shop with us online at Magnolia2, that's TOO.com.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
And good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and your SportsEdge.com. Thanks for joining us on the show this week. A lot to talk about, as always. Big basketball game coming up tonight. Caldwell County and Lyon County in the second region tournament over in Hopkinsville. And we've got Tiger head coach Daniel Kukahiko in the studio with us this morning to talk all about it. And, Coach, first time we've ever played Lyon County in the regional tournament. Going to be a big one.
It is. I think it's going to be an exciting atmosphere. There's a good game going on before us between Webster and UHA. And then, anytime you can Caldwell and Lyon and get together in pretty much anything, it draws a crowd. So we're excited about the atmosphere. It's going to be over there tonight.
Also in the studio with us this morning, Ty Englebright sticking around after doing the news. And Ty, we've got a top 5 for everybody this week.
We haven't had one of those in a while, Todd, but of course it's basketball season, March Madness heating up, and we'll be talking about, I think, our favorite NCAA tournament games.
Key word there being favorite.
Favorite, that's right.
We're getting a little bit of a jump. The SEC tournament's not till next week,
right.
But postseason time is upon us, so we're getting the jump on it. It'll be our top 5 favorite NCAA tournament games, and Daniel, you're free to jump in on that one too if you'd like.
There's several that come to mind. We'll just say that.
Going to get to a break here on the show first. Again, lots of basketball to talk about. The Tigers and the Lions in the late game tonight over at Hopkinsville High School. Should be a really good one. Going to talk about that and, of course, our top 5 coming up a little bit later on in the show as well. Stay with us on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes money is tight when you need it most.
At ABC Finance, we're here for you.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you in a pinch, even if your credit is less than perfect.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000 and the individual attention to help you get your finances back on track.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call, and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
And like ABC Finance on Facebook.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
Christian Care Center of Catawba announces Jita Shabda, their new medical director, and that they now have on-site physician services specializing in internal medicine and pulmonary, Monday through Friday during regular business hours. Christian Care Center of Catawba is Joint Commission certification with 57 private rooms, all covered by private pay, insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid. They also have a designated area for smokers. It's the next best thing to home. Call Christian Care Center of Catawba, nurturing body, mind, and spirit.
On the hunt for a place to build a career? On March 19th and 26th, Bridgestone Metalfa would like to welcome you to visit their plant for an informational session. Learn more about Bridgestone Metalfa's company, culture, recruitment and application process, as well as their top-of-the-line benefits package. Sessions are Thursday, March 19th from 4 to 8 p.m. and Thursday, March 26th from 12 to 4 p.m. Come and find out why you should join the Metalfa team, located at 570 International Boulevard in Clarksville.
Energy efficient tips for winter brought to you by your Princeton Electric Plant Board. Hometown Energy working for you. Don't block air vents. Keep supply and return vents clear of furniture and appliances so your HVAC system can work more efficiently. Check your HVAC filters monthly during winter months and clean or replace if dirty. Enjoy the sun. Open the drapes on sunny days and bask in the free heat. And switch to better bulbs. LED lighting uses up to 75% less energy than traditional bulbs.
Continuing on the Sideline Report on a Thursday morning here at 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us. Caldwell County Tiger basketball coach Daniel Kukahiko is with us today. Ty Englebright sticking around on the show, so again, lots to talk about, and we want to get right to the second region tournament. If you missed it last night, Christian County beat Crittenden County 77-56. Madisonville over Henderson County 67-47. Coach, it looks like Madisonville throwing the hammer down on Henderson County in that game last night.
Madisonville's a solid basketball team. You know, they're just if they're clicking it, they're tough to deal with. You know, fortunate for us, they're on the other side of the bracket. So, you know, they're just a good team.
Yeah, fair to say they're probably on a good day 15, 16 points better than anybody else. Not that you can't go in and beat them, but I mean the talent level they have is a little bit better than what a lot of other people have.
That's the thing about postseason basketball is kind of the records kind of go out the window. Doesn't matter what's happened, you know, before. You know, going into tonight, we talked about it. You know, nothing that's happened with Lyon County with us before matters tonight. And that's the exciting thing about the postseason. It's not about, you know, all time. It's fun to talk about the all-time records. It's fun to talk about this is the first time we've met Lyon in the regional tournament. But at the end of the day, it's about this one game tonight. So that's the exciting part about it.
Caldwell County and Lyon County for years in the 5th District together, and that kind of made it tough to meet in the regional tournament unless you got to the championship game. Of course, if you go back to the 40s and 50s, back then when they did the regional tournament draw, they just threw all 8 teams in and drew them out. You could draw anybody. You could draw another champion. You could draw a runner-up. You could draw your own district. So I actually had to go back and just make sure we hadn't played Lyon County somewhere along the way. But
I didn't have any idea when it came, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
145 meetings all time. Lyon County leads 74-71. If you go back to the first game this season, though, if the Tigers had won that game, that would have evened the all-time series going back to 1954. That's kind of difficult to believe.
It's
It's a lot of games.
It's a lot of games. Going back and looking at the history and just knowing that stuff is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Actually, Caldwell County, the series has kind of gone back and forth. Caldwell County actually had the lead there for a while. I think, Daniel, when you were playing, the Tigers might have had the edge in the series. Then Ty Rogers came around and kind of threw it back in Lyon County's favor.
Yeah, he was a few years younger than me, but he was tough to deal with. He was good. We'll just say that.
You guys getting ready to play Lyon County tonight. Again, it's the late game, and we'll have it right here on WPKY around 7:10 tonight. What have you guys been doing this week to try to get ready for that game?
We just try to learn from the last 2 times we played them. We've seen them play, on film several times. We've played them twice. We were, in person. We watched them a couple of times there. We watched them in the All-A. We played right after them, so we watched them play that game. We know their personnel. We know they have guys that can really play. And the thing that's deceiving about them is they're a lot of young guys, but that really doesn't matter. They got young guys that can play. So we just got to keep our head on straight. The first couple of times we didn't take care of the basketball as well as we should have. Our mindset wasn't as good on the defensive end, and so we just got to make sure we know our plan. And I relate this game a lot to the Central game for our guys, this week, in that this is the second game we've played this year that either you win or your season's over. And we talked a lot about that. Our focus is really, really good before the Central game, and then our focus has been okay before this game as well. And so we just got to make sure, like I said, we know their personnel, they know our personnel. It's going to come down to execution, IQ, and making basketball plays.
Lyon County is 22-9. They've had a really good year. Caldwell County at 16-15, but Coach, he started the season 0-5, and I know if you guys look back, probably 2 or 3 of those games at least that you think maybe you should have pulled out. And if you swing 3 of those games, well, now you're sitting here at 19-12. And everybody's like, hey, look what a great season Caldwell County's having.
Right. And I think we've had a good year. We started out a little bit rough. We were trying to find ourselves there in the first, 4 or 5 games, different roles from a year ago. And you can talk about those things in the off season. You can talk about them during your scrimmages, talk about it in the summer games. But until you really, get into an actual game during the season, some of those things don't really surface. And so it took us a while to just kind of get our ducks in a row, so to speak. But I think we're there now. Hopefully, we're there now. And we've played a good stretch of basketball. So hopefully, we can continue to do so.
Well, there's kind of a knack to winning. And it seemed like early in the season, you guys just hadn't quite figured it out. I mean, you had Lyon County on the ropes, and then some turnovers late kind of did that in. Had Hopkinsville on the ropes. Could have beaten Muhlenberg County early in the year. But it seems like it just kind of took you a couple of weeks to figure out how to finish those games off.
Absolutely. We just didn't play complete games early on. We had, stretches of even as little as, 2, 3, 4 minutes over the course of a 32-minute game can get you beat. Going back to that Hopkinsville game or even the Lyon game in the very first game of the season, we had a lead in both games and then, a stretch of about 2 or 3 minutes that we're never able to recover from. And those things that are just things that you got to eliminate. I think as the seasons went along, our seniors, our leadership has stepped up and kind of when those things happen, they try to find a way to cut it off so that we, in those rallies for the other team and make one of our own.
But as the season goes along, you kind of want your team to improve. You don't want to start the season playing your best basketball, and that's kind of what you guys have done. 7 straight wins until, again, just running into the juggernaut over at Madisonville.
Right. I think we're playing really good basketball right now. We're getting a good inside game. We're getting a good drive game. We're getting a good shooting game. Our mindset has been really, really good. And, defensively, I told the guys even as early as yesterday, defensively, I think we can be a really good defensive team or we can be the worst team in the region. And we need to be the best team in the region tonight defensively. It comes down to the thing that we focused on is IQ. And we play with a high IQ. I think we're tough to beat, and just like any coach would say. But if you don't play, make smart plays, it's tough to win sometimes.
You go back to that first game of the season against Lyon County. Lyon County won that one here 59-57. Played Lyon later in the season over at Edaville. 68-57. Lyon County won that one. That was January 30th down at Lyon County. But that game was also close into the end. Lyon County kind of hit some free throws and pulled away at the very end. But both of those games were really, really competitive.
They were both really, really fun to be a part of. And I think, anytime you can be in a bunch of close games, obviously you want to win them, but being in close games helps you out this time of year because a lot of postseason games come down to spurts of possessions that you have to win, and you can't in practice you can simulate things, but there's nothing like game pressure. And so I think being in those games, and we've had several close games this year, being in those things are going to help us, hopefully continue our run in the postseason.
Well, when I was younger, Ty, maybe you can talk to this too, the Caldwell-Lyon rivalry, that was the thing.
Yeah, that was a huge thing. Of course, when we were younger, it was 5th District rivalries. Right. And, of course, but the communities share so much, Coach. We share a lot of relatives across the border lines. People from Lyon come here to shop. We go there to shop. But the communities are close-knit and tied closely together. Of course, they're border counties.
Right.
But talk to that the rivalry is just incredible, but families sharing kids and grandkids over the line, it's just really cool when these two communities come together.
Absolutely. Going back to the, I was fortunate to play in the 5th District, and there's the tournament atmosphere was unbelievable. And I think it's kind of still that way. And any given night, you just don't know. You didn't know who's going to win. There were always going to be close games, and no matter where it was at, if it was one of the 5 schools, it was going to be a great atmosphere. And there was 5 teams, so you were playing for, during the regular season, every game meant something because you didn't want to be in that 4 or 5 matchup, didn't have to play the 1, that kind of stuff. And so it's just, and then you look at, I think it's Farmers Bank that's added the border war, kind of that added some excitement to the games, trying to get the points and halftime stuff, and just adding that excitement to the games, just it kind of brings back a little bit of that old 5th District rivalry.
It has kind of lost a little something with the move to the 7th District. I think that was in 2005. However, kind of building a bit of a rivalry with Hopkins County Central in some sports, because it seems like Madisonville's kind of owned the district even before Caldwell County got there. So I think the rivalry, Madisonville and Hopkins Central is obviously the big rivalry that was there since Hopkins Central came about in whatever it was, 1996 or whatever. But I think we've kind of made some inroads, and now that you've got Michael Fralick's coaching Hopkins County Central, it's starting to feel more like a district rivalry there.
It is. They're having worked over there at Hopkins County, was actually on staff when Central won the last district championship here at Caldwell. It was a fun atmosphere for us there. Played Madisonville, but it it is, and especially Coach Fredericks is first year over there, did a great job, and I have no doubt that program is in very good hands. So there's going to be lots of battles down the road that are fun, and then you can't obviously Madisonville, they're going to graduate 8 seniors. I think, if I'm correct, I think Dawson is probably the team that brings back the most from this year's team, and so it's just it's a fun district to play in.
But looking ahead, and don't want to get past this season too far, but you guys have a pretty good talent pool coming back next year. You'll kind of be a little bit like this year's Lyon County team, in that you'll be really young, but those kids can play a little bit.
We do. Graduating 6 seniors sometimes it's tough to overcome, but I wouldn't call next year a rebounding year in any way, or a rebuilding year, I guess you could say. We have a bunch of young guys that can play, and I think that the success, after Christmas, those guys, played their middle school season and played their freshman season, and now they're in practice every single day, and I think they're a big reason why where we're at. That game winning, the 7-game winning streak we went on, those guys are challenging, our guys every day in practice, and some of them are getting in minutes in games. So it's been fun to see, almost like the 2 different teams in practice every single day. A bunch of young guys that can play, a bunch of old guys that can play, and they're not old guys, but seniors, however you want to say. Call them rookies and veterans. So to see them go at each other every day in practice, and it's been fun.
Coach Pepper was here last week, and we were talking a little bit about this 7-game streak. he said he didn't know quite how it had started. Of course, you want your team to peak at the end of the season, but can you attest to maybe a reason why? He said you guys were watching a little bit more film, being a bit more detailed, your players' work. Can you speak to what do you think might be really was that spark as we headed in to this latter part of the season?
I can't put my finger on it either, and to be honest with you, as long as we were winning, I didn't really try.
That's all might be a good thing.
I think one of the things that contributed to that is we started shooting the ball very, very well. Sometimes it's one of those phenomenons when you see a couple of baskets go through the hoop that haven't been going through, it kind of raises your defensive game. It raises your not that our motivation wasn't there, effort wasn't there, it's been there all year, but it kind of raises your game on a lot of different levels, and I think that's one of the contributing factors. But like you said, Coach Pepper said, it's watching more film, just getting more buy-in. And when you're struggling for a win, your focus has to go up because you want to, you don't want to continue losing. So I think, and I credit our seniors, getting on there and watching the film and figuring this thing out and grinding it out and help these young guys come along. So I think that's, those are some things I think that helped that 7 game.
And you're talking about these young guys, very, very talented middle school team comes up, and the future is looking really bright for Caldwell County High School basketball.
Absolutely. We've got several guys, I think we dressed maybe 3 8th graders and a 7th grader right now, but that's not it. There's a handful of other guys that can really play and contribute, and the reality is they're going to get a good opportunity. We've got several guys right now that are finding their looking for their off season and looking for their AAU and looking for their spring teams, like summer teams to play on, and that means it tells me they're hungry. They don't want to stop. They don't want to just be content with with getting a varsity jersey or or playing at the high school. They want to continue to get better, which is, as a coach, is very good to hear.
Yes, sir.
Well, and you guys had a great year last season, lost to University Heights in the regional semifinals. Again, anytime you get to the regional semifinals in the second region, it was a good year. I think a lot of people thought, though, when Darian Boyd left, that Caldwell County was going to fall off the cliff again and never be heard from, but you guys didn't do that. I mean, you've had another really good year, 16 and 15, trying to battle back from losing all those points, and we talked about the first of the year, and I think that was part of it, too, just trying to find somebody, because the last 2 years, in the last 4 minutes of the game, you knew who was going to have the basketball.
Absolutely, and Darian was it still is a great basketball player, but you got to throw John Davis in there too. Those two guys started for 2.5, 3 years, however you want to look at it, and they were our primary ball handlers for that whole entire time. And those two guys were a big part of last year's team. And I think you said it. It took maybe that first few games. All right, well, we know we have the pieces. We got to kind of make sure we know our roles. And I think that's one thing that's been good for us over the season is we don't have one guy on our team that all right, we just take this guy out and we can beat Caldwell County. We spread it out. On any given night, we have 5, 6 guys, 7 guys that can score 20. We can spread it out. We can do it that way, or we can do, several guys that can score 10, 12, 15 points. And if our defense lines up with that, we're a tough team to beat. So on that note, talking about those two guys going on. John's having a pretty good year at Midway on the mound and hitting, and then Darian set this year out, but he's still putting in work, and so I'm excited to see what those guys do in the future as well.
Well, and Darian at Georgetown, I mean, that's one of the top NAIA basketball programs in the country.
Absolutely, they're getting ready to go into their postseason. I think they're playing at their conferences at Bowling Green High School, I think, and. They're following their team. Coach Briggs does a great job there, and Darian is going to fit nicely into that, I think, next year.
We are talking this morning with Caldwell County basketball coach Daniel Kukahiko, and he's going to be playing Lyon County tonight. He and the Tigers over in the regional tournament at Hopkinsville High School. 7:30 is game time. Again, if you can't get there, 7:10 will be broadcast time here on WPKY, and I can guarantee one thing, with Lyon County being in it, everybody from Lyon County will be in the gym tonight. So if Caldwell County wants to have that big support, loud support on the other side, everybody from Caldwell County had better get over there tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. We're excited. I told the guys yesterday, this may be one of the best atmospheres they've ever played in, just because it's a line Caldwell game, but it's also in the regional tournament, and there's a lot more on the line here than just a regular season game. So it's going to be a fun atmosphere.
Need to get to a break here on the show. We'll be back and talk more after this on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
The Joint is serving up pulled pork, brisket, jumbo wings, ribs, chicken, and more with all the fixings to go with it from their secret family recipes, all at The Joint in Eddyville.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Mostly sunny and breezy today, warming up to 61 degrees. Overnight, we're mainly going to see stars overhead with the temperature dropping to 36. Tomorrow and Saturday, sunshine. Friday's high, 49. Saturday will warm up to 54, but Sunday looking really nice. Sunshine warming up to 62 degrees. But again today, mostly sunny, high around 61.
The 49th Annual Princeton Optimist Club Radio Auction will hit the airwaves of WPKY 103.3 FM on Monday, March 9th and continue through March 13th. You stop by each night and view the items at the Butler Building, and bidding can take place on-site or over the phone. All the money goes to youth activities in Caldwell and Lyon counties, including scholarships. So be generous during the 49th Annual Princeton Optimist Club Radio Auction, Monday, March 9th through 13th. Heard nightly on WPKY 103.3 FM, your hometown radio station.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Imagine if there were a place you could go to buy gift certificates to some of the best businesses in town. Now, imagine all those great gift certificates priced 30, 35, 40%, and at times over 60% or more off retail every day of the week. The Loyal Listener Big Deal Store is online and waiting for you to shop and buy gift certificates to local businesses. Go to WPKYonline.com.
Back on the Sideline Report on 1580 103.3 WPKY, and apparently Ty Englebright picking out the bump back music this morning.
Hey, that's right up my alley. We looked at each other when it came back. That's the first I'd heard of the Legend of the Woolly Swamp coming back in. But
pretty neat.
The little CDB this morning. I'll take it.
Talking about the regional basketball tournament this week, and Tiger head coach Daniel Kukahiko is with us this morning. And Coach, when you look at the draw in the bottom part of the bracket, you've got Webster County and UHA. Then you've got Caldwell County and Lyon County. And you've probably got 4 schools there that all think they got a good draw.
Absolutely. You know, when the draw comes out, you know, that we were talking about somebody, I was talking to somebody yesterday, you know, being in the 7th district, you know, Madisonville's been, you know, top 5 ranked team pretty much all year in the state. We're the only school that was there that could say that we're not going to have Madisonville on our side. Right. And at the end of the day, I guess that really doesn't matter because you're looking no further than your first round opponent. But it is, you know, it's a, you know, some would say, well, it's an easy bracket because Madisonville's on the other side. Well, it's not, because there's 4 solid basketball teams down here. And I'm excited to be there and play Lyon in the second game, but also to watch that first game. I think it's going to be a doozy.
But you've got 4 teams down there, and somebody's going to make a run to the championship game. And, you know, who's to say it might not be Caldwell County?
And that's the one thing that I think, you know, over that stretch of 7 games that the players, it wasn't coach driven or anything, that, you know, just why not us? Why can't we be the team that makes a run at it? And I think our guys know that that we can't even talk about, you know, doing something, you know, really special until we, you know, just one game at a time. Right now, the thing special to do right now is beat Lyon County tonight. But it is. It's a, you know, something about the regional tournament. Just I like the fact that we play it all in one location. I like the fact that we get everybody under one house and we play, and then it's just a special time of year.
You could even tell during the girls' game the other night against Trigg County, and of course the Lady Tigers dropping that game 54-50. It's just a different feel when you get on that level, and there's a different energy in the building. I mean, everybody knows that you either win or your season's over, and nobody wants to have their season come to an end. So there's just a whole lot more things that go into it. It seems like from the get-go, teams are ready to play. I mean, everybody knows that for those 32 minutes, that's it.
That's it, 32 minutes, and the stakes are higher in those games, as you just said. It just brings a different, it brings a different atmosphere. It brings a different just aroma for the game. And like you said, you have a bad half in the regular season. Well, there's time to overcome it. You have a bad half in the regional tournament, your season may be over. So it makes it fun because there's so much pressure on it.
And I didn't think the Lady Tigers played poorly over against Trigg County. I thought they played pretty well. Trigg County is a team kind of on a mission. Already won more games than any Lady Wildcat team ever. Had only won one game in the regional tournament in program history until that game. They kind of had that date circled, and that was another case of when the draw came out, I think both teams' coaches were like, hey, we got a good draw. But the Lady Tigers, I thought when you take into consideration the injuries they had over the last half of the season, you're missing your point guard, you're missing what was probably your first player off the bench. One of your better players that's playing is kind of limited mobility-wise because her knee's injured. When you take all those things into account, the way the season ended up for them, I thought was pretty good at 16-15.
I agree. Coach Mitchell did a good job. I guess the advantage is and being in my position is having a little closer look on the program, just seeing them practice, watching some games of them, talking with Coach Mitchell. They dealt with a lot of adversity this year. The injuries was big, especially the timing of the injuries. They're right in the middle of the All-A or into the All-A. Then trying to overcome that and find the roles. They had a good year considering everything that happened.
Tournament time, and that means the NCAA tournament can't be far away, Ty. And it's SEC tournament next week, and then the NCAA gets going. But we're going to get the jump on everybody else and start talking about the NCAA tournament with our top five.
Why not? It's always fun to kind of look back and kind of take a look at years past and some of those memories of those really great games of the NCAA tournament. And I had a good time kind of looking back because as years go on, things kind of run together.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to go back and look a little close at things. And of course, I'm in and out of basketball. I mean, sometimes I'm really into it, and sometimes I'm not. So I have to admit that.
And Daniel, feel free to jump in any place if you want to mention a few games. But Ty, I think it's your turn to start.
Okay, and I'm going to probably start. And are we numbering them?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be my fifth one, okay? And it doesn't have anything to do with any certain team that I really like. But I thought this was a cool game. We had to go back to 83, and it's NC State versus Houston. Houston, huge, overwhelming favorite. I think that's Phi Slamma Jamma.
It was.
And, to have a team like NC State, I forget the seedings of what they were and where they came out of and how they got there. But that last second Wittenberg kind of alley-oop thing, I think he just kind of threw it up on a whim and a prayer, and there's Charles there.
I think he was shooting it.
I think he was actually shooting
it.
It was way out
they
outside.
ran the clock down forever and then got a shot from midcourt.
Yeah, exactly. And he just chucked that thing up, and there's, I forget Charles's first name. Lorenzo Charles was his first name, yeah. So he's right there, and he kind of grabs it and just dunks it right at the buzzer, right? And then everything goes crazy, and I mean, people really didn't know who had won the game.
I think NC State was so surprised they won, they took a little time before they celebrated.
Yeah, I mean,
for a second, everybody was like, what, did we just win?
Yeah, they didn't know. And, of course, Jim Valvano, great head coach there, running all over the court. And really not, he was kind of stunned, too. He didn't know what was going on. But that was a great NCAA moment.
Okay, I've got an honorable mention, as always. Okay. From the 1990 second round, Loyola Marymount 149, Michigan 115.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
Especially for a college game.
Not a whole lot of defense.
That was fun watching those games where Loyola Marymount would just come off the floor and fire up a three and then just go try to get the rebound and sometimes kick it back out for another three.
I forgot about that game, and I didn't get near as diverse as you did. But, yeah, if you like offense, that was the game for you.
I can't believe that was 30 years ago, though. I mean, that was the tournament right after Hank Gathers had died.
That's right.
And Bo Kimball had the run for Loyola Marymount, and he would shoot his first free throw each game left-handed in memory of Hank Gathers, who probably would have been a really good NBA player, but, never got the chance. But that's my honorable mention. And, of course, at number 5, I've got NC State beating Houston. So
you were kind of right. I kind of sorry I ruined that for you, but that was kind of a cool moment.
But one thing I noticed in that run for NC State, they had to go double overtime in the first round to beat Pepperdine They were down 7 in the first overtime, I believe, and came back to tie it and force the second overtime. So that's how close they came.
They came to not even being there,
to losing in the first round.
But the thing about that team is you kind of saw, from what I remember. I mean, I was in high school. As the season progressed, I mean, they were out there. I mean, they were obviously a good team. And I think what was that other guy's name on that? Cozell McQueen. Was that his name? There was a guy, I think they had a guy named Cozell McQueen. But anyway.
I'm trying to figure out how somebody with Clyde Drexler and Akeem Olajuwon ever lost a game.
I know. That's what I think made it so incredible, was that, all we heard about that season was Phi Slamma Jamma. And I think that was just a great team. So I really don't know where I am. I'm going to throw this in as an honorable mention, but I combined two. I just did the 96 and 98 UK Wildcats just because we had come off probation and all that stuff. You had Tubby Smith and then Coach Cal. I think that's right. No, that's not right. Is it? No, it's Tubby Smith. Yeah. Cubby. I don't know what I'm talking about, Coach Smith. But Tubby Smith, he's a great guy, and he just was pulling for him. And and I'm not a huge UK fan, as you can tell, but it was kind of cool to kind of see those championship seasons there.
Well, I deliberately tried not to make my entire list UK games. So
yeah.
But at number 4, I've got Kentucky 86, Duke 84, 1998 Elite 8. Kentucky down 17 with 9.5 minutes to go. They come back and beat Duke.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, where am I? I'm lost here. But
number 3.
Okay, I'm number 3. Let's go back to 2010, Murray State and Vandy. I'm a Murray State, but and that was a great game. But yeah, I think Murray State was a number 13 seed, Vandy number 4. This was a first round game, they last second shot, from what I remember. I think they were right there at the end as well. So that was an exciting NCAA moment for me.
My number 3, Western Kentucky 82, Michigan 76, the 1995 first rounder. Some guy named Michael Fralick hit a 3 to force overtime in that game, and the Toppers went on to win and went on to reach the Sweet 16 that season.
Yeah, that's a great one. I about put that one on there because I was just recently, when Michael was here, I went back and just kind of wanted to kind of remember some of those great games. Went back and looked at Ty Rogers too, by the way. But I kind of am sticking with my alma mater here for mine. So, and we're kind of down to 2 now, I guess, right?
Yes.
So my number 2 is going to be Murray State, NC State, 1988. Another NC State game. This is the first round of that tournament. They pulled out a 78-75 win in 1988, first round over NC State.
Yeah, that was the Murray Who game.
That was Murray Who game. That's right.
Jim Valvano after the draw.
Yeah,
Murray Who.
Yeah, Murray Who. That's exactly right.
He found out, I guess.
And then my next one was kind of going to be related to that here in just a second.
My number 2 is the Ty Rogers shot, the 3 at the horn to beat Drake 101-99. That was the 2008 first round game in Tampa. I think the Toppers, didn't they win the next game that year too and go to the Sweet 16? I can't remember.
I want to say you're right, but I don't know that.
I don't know that for sure, but I think you are right. But yeah, I watched that one recently. That one's awesome. To go back and pull the YouTube video out on that.
Still got the big picture up at Diddle Arena of Ty knocking down that shot. I remember. I think I hurt myself on that shot.
I don't doubt that. What a great basketball moment, especially when and we talk about this Lyon County Caldwell County rivalry. You talk about the Fralick's moment, and then you got the Ty Rogers moment. So that kind of just puts icing on the cake where we've had that kind of success at the next level and big time success.
I remember Ty in high school playing Trigg County one night. Trigg County put 3 people on him, held him to 50.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the guy could actually absolutely knock it down.
Yes, he could.
Especially when he was on.
Yes, he could.
My number 1, Todd, I'm sticking with 88 because this is pretty cool because Murray State played a Kansas team. I mean, it scared them 61-58 that second round game. That was the year Kansas went on to win the whole thing in 88. So they had Kansas on the ropes late in the game, and Kansas came out ahead 61-58 in that second round game and to go ahead and win it all.
Well, a game I don't have on my list, but Murray State very nearly became the first number 16 seed to ever win a game in the NCAA tournament. I'm trying to think who they played now. I went blank for a second, but was it Michigan State? State.
Yeah, might have been.
I think
they
it was down in Knoxville.
That might be
and
right.
the game went to overtime, and Tennessee or team they were playing Michigan State ended up winning, but I didn't have that on my list.
You were talking about Murray State, who I remember I was in spring break one year when I was at Murray. We'd been to Daytona Beach. We were coming back, so we decided it'd be fun. The games were on. We pulled in somewhere in Gainesville to a place to have dinner and watch the game. And we were in a crowd full of Florida, University of Florida kids. You know, we had our Murray State stuff on there. They were like, we ended up befriended. They were pulling for Murray State right there at this place we were because, you know, they were like, this is cool. We got the game going on. We got guys from Murray State here. And that was probably that same year is what I'm thinking, 87, 88. So it might have been one of those games we were there. I really just can't remember. It's a little fuzzy.
All right. My number one, and, of course, I'm a big homer again, so Kentucky 94, Duke 88 in the 1978 national championship game. Goose Gibbons went for 41 at the Checker Dome in St. Louis, and that's one of the earliest, big UK games that I can remember was that game. And, of course, beating Duke was great.
Even better.
Yeah. And the one thing I always remember, and a little trivia for UK fans and everybody else, I guess, do you know whose court the Final Four was played on that year in the Checker Dome?
Whose court?
Whose court? Yeah, they actually had to bring in a court.
They actually had to bring in a court from the Checker Dome?
Something was wrong with the court at the Checker Dome.
So they actually brought in a court.
The NCAA had to bring in somebody else's court.
I have no idea.
No clue.
It was Indiana's.
Really?
So Kentucky not only beat Duke, they did it on Indiana's court.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
Was the state
Hoosier
and the
thing,
eye, and
yes.
it was there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool piece of trivia.
But
there.
see, the NCAA headquarters are in Indianapolis. The
That's
closest
right.
school, basically.
So they just brought the court in and laid it down.
Yeah, so they brought it in.
Awesome.
And
what about
Kentucky
it,
got to win
Coach?
on that.
We kind of excluded you there toward the end. We got
No.
so excited. So you got one that.
I'm always impressed with the wealth of knowledge when I come sit in this chair. I'm appalled by
Well,
it.
it's not from this chair. I can.
No, it's
guarantee
from
you
both
that.
of them. I can assure you. I thought about, Todd was talking about before the show. I thought about Michael's shot. Thought about Ty's shot, and then the one that came to mind, obviously Bryce Drew making that shot. Any UK big time shot, especially when they beat Duke, is one they remember. Then I thought about, even this fuse, just talking about the favorite. The favorite was one of mine. It would have to be a couple years ago, Lipscomb in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
We're at the state tournament. Watching. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings. Coaches are all there watching the big screen there, and we got Lipscomb and UNC, and we're acting fools, yelling. Of course, Eli was on that team, and everybody's looking at us like we're crazy. And why are you cheering for? What's the deal here? And then people are asking by halftime, I think we had half of BW3s cheering for Lipscomb.
And isn't that fun? That happens. But boy, that must have been. I remember I talked to Coach Pepper's dad, before they went out there for that game. But I mean, what an incredible stage to be on and to experience that. And Lipscomb played they played a great game against a great team.
They did.
Tough draw though.
That's a tough draw.
North Carolina out of the gate. There is one game that I didn't have on my list because I don't really remember it. I'm sure there are some older UK fans that probably remember this one. The 1975 Elite Eight, Kentucky 92, Indiana 90. Indiana was ranked number 1 in the country. The Hoosiers were 31-0 that year. So that's pretty
knock
big
them
deal.
off. Yeah, it's a big
But I don't
deal.
really remember that. That was just a little before
You really
I had
were
been paying
into it.
attention.
Yeah.
Well, I hope my wife's listening to this show right now because she's an IU grad, and so hopefully we can talk about that later.
Well, speaking of UK basketball, Eddie Owen had an interesting. I didn't get to see the Tennessee game about the exchange between Coach Cal and.
Rick Barnes.
The player. There's some exchange.
I lost a little. I listened. I turned on after the game, after the regional tournament game, and Kentucky was up 17.
And of course, they had an exchange. And I forget which player it was. Went to go back and listen. But Tess and I were talking. She was talking about loving Indiana being in there. But at that point, we were talking about Bobby Knight, and he probably would have just slapped the guy's face and sent him on air in front of the whole crowd. But something happened.
No one would have spoken back to Bobby Knight.
No, that's exactly right. Or a chair would have been slung across the floor.
Well, they knew that practice was coming up the next day, so nobody would have said anything. But
I wouldn't want to.
A little difference in coaching philosophies than what you have now. But
and I tell you, hearing about all this UK history and stuff, Coach Felker is phenomenal at UK history basketball. He just knows. He's been to so many SEC tournaments. I don't think I can count He's already talking about if they make it to Atlanta, he's going. So he'd be one to come in here and talk about UK basketball if you ever did one of those shows.
Well,
talking basketball this morning with Tiger head coach Daniel Kukahiko. Ty Englebright is with us. Need to get to another break here on the Sideline Report, but we'll be back with more after this on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast. Dry conditions all the way through the weekend, at least until we get to Sunday night. We're going to see a mostly sunny sky today and warm conditions, high around 61. Overnight, mostly clear, low around 36. Tomorrow, sunny and a little bit cooler with the high only getting up to 49. Tomorrow night, clear sky, temperature dipping to 29. And then Saturday, sunshine, high around 54. But again today, mostly sunny, warming up to 61 degrees.
You can always expect great things at Planters Bank. When we say expect great things, what we're really saying is Planters Bank is here to provide the financial services you need. Planters Bank believes in the strength of our community and is a full-service financial institution. Our employees have a true passion for helping our neighbors, and it shows. See Jake Pepper and the rest of the Planters Bank staff at 208 North Jefferson. Planters Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
There's good news in the fight against heart disease. Hello, I'm Jessica Reed Carr, a physician assistant who works alongside of Dr. Sanjay Bose. Did you know that Caldwell Medical Center has a cardiology clinic? Whether you need a stress test, echocardiogram, or just a follow-up, our highly trained team of heart health specialists have the experience to get you on the path to a healthier you right here at home. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 270-365-0350 or visit us at caldwellmedical.com.
We continue on the Sideline Report here on 1580 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. Tiger head coach Daniel Kukahiko is with us. Ty Englebright in the studio as well. Lots of sports going on. Tigers and Lions tonight over in the second region tournament at Hopkinsville High School. Also a home baseball scrimmage coming up Saturday at noon against Christian County. Your St. Louis Battlehawks are in first place in the XFL East Division.
My Tampa Bay Vipers finally won a game.
Yeah, got on the winning side. And I was watching AEW wrestling last night while doing a little work,
Nice.
and I look up and Jake the Snake Roberts is on there.
Oh my goodness, man! What in the world? Yeah, I actually I don't know what. I mean, all the kind of the wrestling organizations to me run together anymore. But I was watching some the other night, and it was quite entertaining. I'd forgotten how much fun it was.
And mentioned it's regional time here, sectional time up in Indiana. And Fonzo White's Bishop Lure squad ran into a really good Leo Lions team last night. Dropped a 58-46 decision. Fonzo and the Knights finishing 15-7, won their conference, but their leading scorer got hurt late in the season. Didn't have him for postseason play. And Daniel, that makes a huge difference going into the tournament.
It does. You want to have a full, healthy roster going into the postseason, and not having that, it's a game changer. If it happens early in the season, you have time, to kind of work on a plan, get some things together. There's not a whole lot of time if it happens the last game of the season.
Again, the Tigers and the Lions tonight in the second region tournament, first round action. Like we mentioned, all four teams in that bottom part of the bracket kind of liking their chances. I mean, I know coaches don't like to say that sometimes, Daniel, that you like your chances, but when you look at the region as a whole this year, so many good teams, and then Madisonville ranked third in the state. It's a really tough road for anybody going over to the regional tournament.
I'll just leave it. I love my team.
Yeah.
I know what I bring to the table. And it's not because of me. It's because of those 15 guys that are in uniform. And I've told them this several times. I'll put them up against anybody. That's where my confidence comes, is in them. And that's sometimes scary to say when you're putting your confidence in a bunch of teenagers. But knowing them, spending as much time as we have over the course of this year and some of them the last 4 or 5 years, I think they know what's at stake tonight, and nothing more than a berth in the semifinals of the regional tournament. So we're going to be ready to go and ready to play well.
I like that the regional is at Hopkinsville High School. I think it's the best gym in the region. I'd be fine with having it there every year.
I can't disagree. I think it. Every year this time of year it's talked about. There's only a few regions in the state that don't have an arena. I know the first region plays at Murray State.
Right.
The fourth region plays at Western. Yeah. So it's one of those things that you play the hand you've been dealt. There's no big time universities within the second region area that have an arena. But I agree with you. Hopkinsville has a nice facility. I think it's I won't say it's completely centrally located, but we're in a good spot that no place is really too far for us. So it'll be a good atmosphere to host another regional tournament.
Actually, in the second region, Caldwell County is about as centrally located as you can get. So I think somebody needs to build about a 5,000 or 6,000 seat expo center here. We can have concerts. We use it for the regional tournaments, have sports events. So you could probably use it as a practice facility. Just throwing that out there.
Well, yeah, why not? Throw it out there, Todd.
Absolutely. It'd be a great spot. We could definitely find some land here somewhere for it.
I said for years before Caldwell County was in the All-A Classic that they should just have that at Caldwell County every year because that way, again, the Tigers and Lady Tigers weren't in the All-A at that point, so it'd be a neutral facility. It's right in the middle of the region. Again, I think Caldwell County and Hopkins County Central, Dawson, those schools are probably right smack dab in the middle of the second region, so it'd be cool to kind of have everything around there.
I'm kind of glad. I mean, I wouldn't say we all want a nice facility to play in. That is a great facility over there, but I don't know. I think sometimes, you can fill it, but at CFSB Center for the first region, it's kind of large too, and I mean it's beautiful, it's great, but boy, there's something about I love Racer Arena, for even those college games. Of course, you expand, you grow, you get big. But there's something about everybody being down close to the court, especially during these heated high school rivalries and games that just make it that much more special. And to me, the closer and the more intimate that it feels in there, the more the fan base can play in bringing that victory.
I have to agree. One of the best atmospheres I think I've ever been a part of was the All-A Championship. I guess it was probably 6-7 years ago at Dawson. We're playing UHA, and there were so many people, and it probably wouldn't have filled up any other gym, but it was packed. There were people standing on the walls 3 and 4 deep. Felt like the fans were like on our bench, which was just an awesome atmosphere.
You feel like it's going to explode.
Exactly, which is what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's kind of like Hopkinsville. You get the big gym, but you kind of get the small gym feel to it because everything's right there, and you have some seats in the end where that's not really a view you get anyplace else. So I just always thought Hopkinsville was such a neat little gym, and I'd probably vote for having it there in the second region every year.
I agree. It's like you said, the court is surrounded by seats, so it's just a cool place.
Once again, 7:30 is tip-off time, roughly. Should be a big crowd tonight. If you're headed over that way, get there early. The first game is Webster County and University Heights Academy. Everybody from Webster County is going to be there. Webster County's actually been ranked like second or third in the region all year, so they're expecting big things.
Yes.
And again, everybody from Lyon County is going to be at their games tonight, and however far they go, I need everybody from Caldwell County to get over there tonight, kind of cheer on the Tigers and level the playing field.
Absolutely, we want as much blue and gold in that Hopkinsville gym as possible. Cheering on these guys, making it loud, making them feel your support. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, and Coach said it best. You've got 4 quality teams here, and on this side that any given night, they can do it. So yeah, Madisonville's kind of sticking out there, but they're gonna have a game to play as well, and we'll just have to wait and see. But it ought to be it's a great matchup tonight, I think, with the old rivalry, the old 5th District rivalry, and then us playing in the regional tournament for the first time like that. So it's gonna be great.
It's been a really fun year. It seems like all the teams have been pretty balanced this year, outside of maybe Madisonville. So like I say, any given night, whether it's Webster or UHA or Lyon or Caldwell or whoever, you just don't know.
Exactly. You get to that point and anything can happen. And that's exactly why you want to be in this tournament. While winning that first district game, whether you win the championship in the district or not, you're in the field of 8. And once you get in the field of 8, you're one step closer to going to the next level. So it's It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you and the Tigers
luck.
tonight, and appreciate you coming by and spending an hour with us and listening to Ty and I go on about our top five. And
always a pleasure.
And Jake the Snake. Appreciate Tri Shoes. The guys over at Tri Shoes. Brent Ladd gave us a Jake the Snake comment, so appreciate those guys listening over there today.
Appreciate it, and we'll have you back again sometime and do it all again.
Sounds great.
That's Tiger basketball coach Daniel Kukahiko. Thanks to Ty Englebright for sticking around. That's going to wrap us up on the Sideline Report. Thanks for listening here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Serving Caldwell County since 1950. We're 1580 103.3 WPKY Princeton.